Hello guys and welcome to Crazy Theory. On today's videos we are going to look at a new One Piece video. All of you know that recent chapter 1044 has dropped one of the major theories this year. The theories that can be dragged together regarding the Yonkos and the Joy Boy. Here I believe that all of the Yonkos are trying to create Joy Boy or become Joy Boy. Expect one. Let's talk about them one by one. First of all, Kaido. After defeating Luffy, he proclaims that he couldn't be Joy Boy, as if he was in an active search for this whole time. With this panel, we see that Kaido has practically given up on being Joy Boy himself. Additionally, he seems to be in Wano, knowing that Joy Boy will appear there one day. For Kaido, he probably knew that there is some set of conditions to make Joy Boy appear. The first condition, the Hitohitonomi model Nika. I am not sure about the extent of Kaido's knowledge, but he does seem to know that there is a fruit that is key to Joy Boy, and that the fruit is a June. This is shown in Kaido's production of a smile fruit. All artificial devil fruits which are only June.
奴らはその人工的な果実に笑顔という意味の名をつけたスマイルと
Of course, the side effect of the fruit is causing people to always be happy, to always experience joy, but it can't be recreated for some reason, causing both the gifters and the pleasures to be just side effects of trying to be Nika's devil fruit. The second condition is coming close to death or actually dying. This one I am not sure on. We know that when Luffy awakened his Nika devil fruit and went gear 5, he might have been dead. And when voices are disappearing, it has been shown in the past that people are dying.
おいコビー、どこか具合でも悪いのか？
頭の中から声が一つ一つ消え
Kaido, knowing that death was a possible key to becoming Joy Boy, constantly he tries to kill himself again and again.
男は死に場所を探していた。彼は今自殺をしたのだ。世に珍しき空島からの飛び降り自殺を。彼を殺せなかった。それは彼自身もしかり。そう、頭痛い。死ねねえもんだな。また生きちまった。
So Kaido is trying to emulate the summoning of Joy Boy, which ended up happening to Luffy. He sets up all the possible conditions for Joy Boy, established himself in Wano, part of the ancient kingdom where Joy Boy once was ruled over, and still cannot be him. His fatal flaw was that he restricted the freedom of his people, the opposite of what Joy Boy stood for. The second one is Big Mom. Let's talk about Big Mom. Big Mom is a different case than Kaido. She seemed to either know less about the conditions to bring back Joy Boy, or she went about it in her own way. Still, she attempted to create what Joy Boy managed to create in the ancient kingdom. A place for all to live in harmony and joy.
俺の夢を世界中のあらゆる人種が家族となり同じ目線で食卓を囲むこと。
This was taken down by the world government, formerly the 20 kingdoms, which forced people living in harmony to separate. I believe that this is why the fishmen inhabit Fishman Island and not the surface, to run from the persecution brought after the collapse of the Great Kingdom. Similarly, all of the races in One Piece seem to be very spread out, from Scythians to giants. I believe they were previously under Joy Boy. Big Mom's main motive is an imitation of Kingdom Joy Boy build. Have people of all races and creeds living together. She so desperately has her children with characters of multiple races, so she can build her own kingdom where everyone can live in harmony. Of course, she falls to bring the giants, who she so desperately seeks out. This reveals that her dream is a selfish one. She only wanted all these people to crush everyone else. Her dream of having all races isn't to actually unite them, like Joy Boy, but to gain power and bring violence. It is also important to note that she also makes Whole Cake Island out to be very joyful and happy all the time. This is also a facet, as we know she uses her residents' life pawns in order to fuel this. Like Kaido, she attempts to emulate Joy Boy through artificial means, but misses a key point. Her flaw is that she is uniting these people through force, not through their own will, again limiting their freedom. She also attempts to emulate Joy, but is completely unable to, as all her residents live in constant fear of her control and her hunger pangs, as we have seen earlier. Now let's talk about Whitebeard.
愛する息子は無事なんだろうな。
Whitebeard is far less evil than the previous two mentioned, but still attempts to emulate Joy Boy. He himself does not try to make the throne of Joy Boy, but instead tries to pass it to his family, specifically Ace. Whitebeard's dream was always to build a family.
一体何が欲しいんだ？おい、逃げと。家族。
Family unity is what Whitebeard wished for, which is very similar to Joy Boy in two ways. First, Joy Boy's nation of all races, the Great Kingdom. And second one, Joy Boy's personal connection with people like Poseidon and his promise to Fishman Island that he could not keep. The second point where Whitebeard meets his flaw. My headcanon is that Joy Boy had to break his promise with Fishman Island for a reason. For the greater good of something, or for the balance of the world. Whitebeard was too attached to the connection he made with his family, separating him from Joy Boy. The same goes for Ace, who was intended to be made for the Pirate King or Joy Boy by Whitebeard. He was too attached to break his promise of a family with Whitebeard. This flaw is the reason Whitebeard could not become Joy Boy or make Ace Joy Boy. The only Yonko left is Shanks. Yeah.
もうすぐ会えそうだな。ルフィ。
Now finally I believe Shanks has succeeded and is the only Yonko without a flaw.
俺たちを超えるのか。この帽子をお前に預ける。俺の大切な帽子だ。いつかきっと返しに来い。立派な海賊になった。
Shanks had to have known the two conditions mentioned earlier, the Nika Devil fruit and near death or death to awake. A common theory going around is that Shanks brought the Gomu Gomu no Mi to Fusha village to give to Ace after Roger told him about the conditions, and that Ace was his son. Following this theory, it makes sense that Shanks happened to be there, but the Gomu Gomu had a will of its own. This led to Luffy eating.
おい待てよルフィ。
もう知らん。弱虫が映る。
At the time, Shanks seemed angry because the fruit was valuable and worth decent money. But now, in this modern context, it was because he knew how important the fruit was. When Shanks had time to think this over, he decided to do the same as Whitebeard, pass the torch to the next generation through sacrifice.
ジャンク。
うせろ。
腕が。
無事でよかった。
He realized that Ace was probably not destined to become Joy Boy, and now had to prepare Luffy to become Joy Boy instead. He inspired him to become a pirate, the freest type of person. Now, for the second point, a near death or actual death experience. The Gorosei most likely didn't realize that Luffy ate the Gomu Gomu no Mi. Every time Luffy went up against enemies, they doubted him and downplayed him, and often don't know what his abilities were. They only began to target him and keep a greater focus on him after this moment.
ある海賊について話が。
I believe that here Shanks told them all of what he knew, that Luffy had the Nika Devil Fruit, that awakening would mean the destruction of world government, and that he needs to be taken down. This led to Luffy's death in chapter 1042 and 1043, which was the key part of his awakening. In summary, unlike Kaido, Shanks was able to obtain the true Hito Hitonomi model Nika and simulate death. Unlike Big Mom, Shanks was able to inspire Luffy to seek the freedom and equality, not false version of it. Unlike Whitebeard, he distanced Luffy enough so that his own attachment would not end up binding his freedom and desire for good of all. Shanks set Luffy up to become Joyboy. For now, keep supporting us and subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.